I thought my allergies were acting up, and I said I better go over to urgent care to see if they can tell me what's going on with my body. So I went in that week, and they told me, oh, it's just your upper respiratory, Mr. Male. We're going to give you an antibiotic and a steroid shot, and that's what I got. Didn't feel any better, and I started to wonder. So I called my daughter. I said, still not feeling too good, so what do you think? She said, well, you need to go back. So I went back, and they asked me a few questions, and one of the questions was, where have you been lately? And I told them that I had been down to the government plaza, and the lady stopped, and automatically she looked at me and she said, when? And I told her. She said, do you think that you've come in contact with anyone that might have COVID, or do you feel that you? No, ma'am. They left out of the room, came back and tested me, and 2 days later, which was March 28th, I was diagnosed that it was COVID. I do have pre-existing medical conditions. I suffer with hypertension, of course, but it's been under control for the last year. I've got a stent. I suffer with all types of respiratory disorders, so that's one of the reasons why I wondered, would this be something that would be major when I found out I was diagnosed with COVID, and some of the people that have pre-existing conditions like mine, they didn't do so well, but God is good all the time, and I thank Him for allowing me to go through it and come this far, because a whole lot of them didn't make it. A slight cough that wouldn't go away. I love to eat, and I couldn't smell the food, so that worried me. A little annoying headache, but what really threw me off, I didn't have fever. And fatigue, yes, because I couldn't walk from here to, say, over to my refrigerator without feeling like there's this pressure that was in my chest, and I wasn't sure what it was. So after I started, my daughter sent me the symptoms and told me to look at them and read them and see if I had anything that correlated with it, and that's when I decided that I needed to go and be tested, and that's what it was. I did not require hospitalization, but I got the 14-day quarantine the first time. Now you have to get this, I was tested twice. Once I was over the symptoms, and I went to my primary care physician, Dr. May. He said, Mary, we're going to test you again to make sure that everything is okay. He said, you appear to be fine. I said, okay. But we didn't know about antibodies, you know, the after effect that you have. So they tested me again, and they told me I was still carrying the symptoms, and I was still carrying the virus. And I'm like, they couldn't be so. I just cooked on Sunday, and all these people came by my house after the 14-day quarantine. They might get it. And he was like, I don't think so. He said, let's just do the test. So I came home and told my sister. I went by her office and picked her up, and we were quarantined for another 14 days. So I did exactly 37 days of quarantine during this process with the COVID. Believe it or not, my family treated me like nothing was wrong. They stayed away from me, get that part, but they made sure. My daughter would knock on the window and say, I'm leaving something at the door for you. My sister would come around through the back part of the house and yell up, do you need anything? But I had one neighbor that really hurt my heart. I offered her some food after I thought that the quarantine process was over, and she said, they've told me that you've got sickness in your house, and I don't want anything from you. It bothered me because I would think that she would have known that I would not have tried to give her anything if I was still suffering with the virus. I'd gone through the quarantine time, and I'm just offering you something to eat. But I found out sometimes people don't feel the same way that you feel, because I feel like if you're okay, you say the doctors say you're okay, then we can handle it. But that was about the worst process. My co-workers came, my church members and my son-in-law and everyone would drop by to make sure I had everything that I need. You need me to run an errand for you, you need me to get something, you need me to pay a bill, now get this right now. They didn't say that they would give me the money to pay the bill, but they'd go pay it for me. So it was a great time for me with the people that encouraged me and the people that helped me during the process of the sickness. Believe it's real. Protect yourself. Wear your mask. Wash your hands frequently. Use all of the hand sanitizer and whatever you have. Always pay attention to people, because there's some people that don't believe that they can get it, but they can. And trust yourself to believe this. If you can get to a point where you start feeling fatigued, you've got a cough, you've got a slight headache, you're running a temperature, go to your physician or go to one of the urgent cares or first cares to get the best medical attention you can. Make sure you inform your parents that you don't feel well, because they're going to tell you what you need to do. That's what I'd offer them.